This is a SAM for Engineering podcast. We deliver strategies and tips on how to meter, optimize, and make the most of your IT resources for smarter decisions on managing engineering software licenses. Each episode features experts who can provide valuable insights on the latest IT trends and how you can tailor your resources to align with these trends. So hit subscribe and join us here.
Hey everybody, my name is Sagi, Solutions Architect here at OpenIT, and I'm your host. So, how are you all? I hope you had a good November, and I wish you a great December, of course. It's so nice of you all to tune in to our podcast today and keep us company for another 20 to 30 minutes or so. We've got a great and interesting topic today. But before that, we are OpenIT. We optimize and forecast software, cloud, and SaaS usage. And this is our podcast, a SAM for Engineering podcast. You can hear us across various distribution channels, including Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast. Also, we have a video version of our episode over on our YouTube channel, OpenIT. Just type in www.youtube.com/OpenITINC. We're always grateful to you, our valued listeners, for always supporting us in our efforts to bring informative and interesting discussions with experts in our field. So much for that introduction. Let us move on to the interesting part of our podcast. For today's episode, we will talk about why companies are no longer looking back now that they've moved on to the cloud. We know how popular cloud migration is, making more and more organizations transfer their data to more secure and highly accessible platforms. Our guest will tell us more about what migration is and the benefits organizations are reaping now that they are migrated to the cloud. So let's welcome our guest, one of OpenIT's senior software developer and dev team lead, Maica Mangente. Hey, Maica.
Yeah, hi, Sagi. It's lovely to be here. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. And thank you for gracing our episode today. So before we start, can you share with us what you do at OpenIT?
I'm currently a senior software developer, mainly focused on developing the license analyzer. And at the same time, I am leading the core backend team of OpenIT, a team composed of software developers for data collection and data processing of on-prem and cloud applications.
Wow, that's really cool. I'm sure your experiences can really enlighten us on this topic. So, starting off, can you tell us about what cloud migration is?
Cloud migration refers to the process of moving data, applications, or other business elements to a cloud computing environment. This could be digital assets, IT resources, databases, services, or software applications.
So, how easy is it to do?
Every company has a different reason to move a workload to the cloud, and goals for each organization will vary. However, generally, everyone will arrive at the same benefits. Before taking any action, it is crucial that companies truly understand what is involved in this shift. Thus, the process requires us to look at the whole migration journey from planning to execution. And this includes assessing what to move, where, and when to move it.
So, why are more companies wanting to move to the cloud?
Well, there are ton of benefits of moving to the cloud. We have security, scalability, cost, and access, to name a few.
All right, so here we go. Can you please expand on each of the benefits you just mentioned?
Yeah, sure. Let's start with security. It is a widely known property of the cloud to have a secure environment. And with the growing risk of cyber attacks and threats, and the increasing complexity of how they do it, moving to the cloud can provide better security. That is, if it's done correctly. According to the Microsoft Office 365 survey, About 94% of small to medium businesses appreciate the cloud's increased security.
So, do all cloud providers offer the same level of security?
Not really, but they offer stronger security than the traditional data centers. Some popular cloud providers offer built in security features such as periodic updates, security analytics, and cross enterprise visibility.
That's awesome. So, how about the other benefits?
Secondly, we have scalability. Depending on your IT requirements, cloud migration lets you scale up or down. Uh, Customers' changing needs allows businesses to reshape their infrastructure to accommodate changing customer demands. And if there aren't any new demands, they can quickly respond to those without being limited by their existing assets and equipment. It's more like having the power to control your resources instead of the other way around. Moreover, Sagi, there's an added benefit to scalability, which is saving money from not having to maintain large data centers. So, plus businesses can enjoy reduced overhead costs since the cloud provides increased productivity, efficiency, and cloud satisfaction at a fraction of the workforce. So, let me continue to the third benefit, which I have already mentioned, the cost. And adding to what I said, cloud migration may reduce operational costs while improving IT processes.
Isn't it more expensive, Micah?
Uh, well, it depends on some factors. One of which is how efficient have you been on prem? If you had expensive people managing expensive assets, uh, giving this work to a cloud provider would be less expensive. Cloud offers some core capabilities from within the platform, allowing organizations to free up resources and be more innovative. Moving, migrating, and modernizing assets to the cloud is cost effective. Traditionally, companies have purchased software assets and installed them in their IT environment. In the last years, however, there has been a trend toward more complex deployment methods with cloud and SaaS, in addition to the traditional on prem deployment. And with the rise of these cloud based applications, new licensing schemes are also introduced to customers. Analysis and consumption will not be less important in these new schemes. And as an end customer, you should request the same insight into usage when you buy cloud based services and licenses that you had when your assets were on prem. It would be best if you were sure you are getting business value from these assets and services, as the cost of having access to and consuming this might be higher in the cloud than on prem. A third party metering and analysis tool like OpenIT can help you and bring you the same insights as before, as you start joining the cloud. We have been successful in supporting hosted solutions for vendor applications like Hexagon and Bentley. A proper understanding of which services and assets are being used is key in times of renewals, but also to help with user and asset efficiencies, training, and support need all year round.
This is getting to be more interesting. So, you've mentioned security, scalability, and cost. But what next?
The benefit of accessibility. Imagine using traditional data centers and one or all of them malfunction or just decides to retire. Wouldn't that be a nightmare? With cloud migration, you won't even have to think about the scenario because Most cloud providers offer monitoring business critical applications and machines. They can notify you whenever there's an outage or an app has potential issues so that you can mitigate these issues even before they happen. This makes things easier for users to access cloud services and data they need anytime and anywhere.
Whoa, cloud migration really offers a lot. But do you think there is also cons when moving to the cloud, Micah?
Yes, Sagi, just like anything else, there are also challenges related to cloud migration. For one, it requires companies to have a strong and stable internet connection. So before moving to the cloud, you must ensure that internet connection will not hinder you from accessing data anytime. Secondly, there might be issues at the start of your move, but of course, with time, this goes away as you get used to the process. So it really is an important step to strategize carefully to ensure that businesses remain operational and available throughout the migration. Some typically need to move a little bit at a time instead of doing it all at once.
This is good to know. So, if we have listeners who are in organizations that are seriously considering moving to the cloud, what advice could you give them?
There are always pros and cons to any and everything. You just need to weigh them and go whichever is heavier. Remember that no system or process is perfect, but you can always get ready with ways to mitigate these challenges.
That is true, though. So, how can OpenIT help in cloud migration?
OpenIT can help with cloud migration with deeper understanding of how, what, and where you are using your assets and services. This will be a great resource for organizations when they are making the switch, what and when to move to the cloud. And you do not just want to lift and shift for all assets and services. You want to optimize first.
Thank you so much for your time and for sharing your thoughts with us, Micah.
Yeah, thank you for having me here and allowing me to share insights with our listeners. Have a great day.
Thank you again, Micah. To all our listeners, if you have any topic that you would like us to discuss in one of our episodes, please drop us an email at podcast@openit.com. We would also like to take this opportunity to invite you to visit our website and view our upcoming events at openit.com or connect with one of our solution consultants. We're glad to assist you on your software optimization journey. Always be updated. Follow us on social media. This has been Sagi for OpenIT. We meter, analyze, and optimize software. And this is Sam for Engineering podcast.
A SAM for Engineering podcast is produced and supported by OpenIT, a trusted partner to meter, analyze, and optimize software, cloud, and SaaS usage. OpenIT provides advanced metering and reporting solutions to help companies and institutions make smarter decisions on managing engineering software licenses. OpenIT helps organizations achieve global IT efficiency through effective out-of-the-box solutions that address software license management challenges to stay on top of critical junctures in the new normal.